forget Dracula. Forget silver stakes and Hollywood horror, because nature has its own blood drinker, and it flies under the radar every night. Meet the vampire bat, a real animal that survives on blood, moves with eerie stealth, and has a surprisingly complex social life. They're one of the few mammals that feed exclusively on blood, and the way they do it is surprisingly sophisticated. In this video, we're diving into the world of vampire bats, how they track down their next meal, how they survive in the wild, and why they're so much more than just Halloween mascots. While bats are already mysterious to most of us, vampire bats are in a class of their own. Out of over 1,400 species of bats worldwide, only 3 drink blood. The common vampire bat, scientifically known as Desmodus rotundus, the hairy-legged vampire bat, and the white-winged vampire bat. All 3 species are found in Central and South America, living in tropical forests, caves, abandoned buildings, and even hollow trees. They're small, roughly the size of an adult's thumb, and despite their name, they don't look all that terrifying. But once night falls, these bats begin their search for a meal, and that meal is blood. The vampire bat's nightly hunt is nothing short of impressive. They don't attack humans randomly or go for dramatic neck bites like in movies. Instead, they target sleeping animals, mostly livestock like cows, pigs, horses, and birds. To locate the perfect spot to feed, they use a combination of echolocation to navigate in total darkness, a highly sensitive heat-detecting nose that can locate blood vessels under the skin, and an incredible sense of hearing that allows them to detect even quiet breathing. Once they identify a target, vampire bats often crawl on the ground using all 4 limbs, something most bats don't do. They move in with quiet, calculated steps. Their bite is incredibly sharp and precise. With their blade-like incisor teeth, they can make a tiny incision that most animals barely notice, especially since their saliva contains a natural numbing agent. Now let's get one thing straight. Vampire bats don't suck blood. They lap it up, almost like a cat drinking water. Once the incision is made, the bat's grooved tongue draws the blood into its mouth. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Their saliva contains a powerful anticoagulant that prevents the blood from clotting. This ensures a steady flow for them to drink. The anticoagulant protein it produces is called draculin, and it's not just a creepy-sounding name, it has real medical value. Scientists have studied draculin for its potential in treating blood clots and strokes. On average, a vampire bat consumes about 1 tablespoon of blood per night. That might not sound like much, but for a creature that weighs only about an ounce or 2, it's over half its body weight. Remarkably, they are still able to fly afterward. You might think a blood-drinking bat wouldn't be much of a team player, but vampire bats are extremely social animals. They live in tight colonies that can range from a few dozen to several hundred individuals. And inside those colonies, they've formed social bonds, similar to those of primates and humans. If a bat fails to find a meal on a particular night, another bat, usually a close relative or long-term social partner, may share its meal by regurgitating blood. This isn't just kindness, it's part of a complex system of reciprocity. Bats remember who helped them, and they repay the favor later. They also groom one another, play, and communicate using a variety of sounds and even unique voices. In fact, studies have shown that vampire bats can recognize individuals by sound, maintain long-term friendships, and remember social interactions over time. So yes, these creatures aren't just about survival. They're also smart, cooperative, and surprisingly emotional. Naturally, people worry about vampire bats, and there's some basis for that concern. While attacks on humans are extremely rare, they can happen in rural areas where other food sources are limited. The real issue, though, is disease transmission. Vampire bats can carry and transmit rabies, which is dangerous for both humans and livestock. For this reason, they are in some areas monitored or culled to protect agricultural animals. However, conservationists argue that understanding and managing their habitats is a better long-term solution than simply eliminating them. And despite the creepy reputation, vampire bats generally avoid humans. They're not monsters, they're marvels of evolution, surviving on one of the most difficult diets in the animal kingdom. So what do you think? Creepy or incredible? The vampire bat might not sparkle in the sunlight or sleep in a coffin, but it's very real and a master of its niche. It's a clever, adaptable creature with sharp instincts and surprising social intelligence. If you enjoyed learning something new, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more wild nature facts. And we'll see you in the next video.